Hi, everyone. It's the Productivity Doc coming at you with tips and tricks for healthcare professionals and others to help you avoid burnout, get more done in less time, and make more time for the more important things in life. So, I have a question for you. Do you have tedious, boring work that you have to get done, but you just don't want to do it? Maybe you've been putting it off forever. I'll do it next week. Yeah, maybe next week. And then next week becomes next month, and maybe 2 months, and 3 months go by and you've not gotten this work done. What is this work? Some tedious work that you maybe have been putting off is maybe inputting your CME. Maybe you've been waiting all week to get down to those forms. Maybe you just don't want to get down to your paperwork. How can you motivate yourself to get into, processing this tedious work that you have to do? Well, I have the method for you. It's called the Pomodoro method. And it's a way that you can break down long, tedious work into smaller chunks that is a lot easier to get done. So basically, it works like this. Pomodoro, if you speak Italian, it's Italian for tomato, and it's named after those small 30-minute kitchen tomato timers. And the idea with it is, instead of sitting down for hours and hours and doing like hours of dreadful work that takes high concentration, you just devote 25, 30 minutes to it. And basically what you do is you sit down and during this time, you work on it, you put everything away, you just close all the extra programs on your computer, and you just work on the one thing. And you get as much done out of it as you can within that time. And then after that, you take a short break, 2 to 5 minute break, and then get back down to the work afterwards. So this is an excellent way of basically breaking down long chunks of tedious work that you have to get done and making it a lot more manageable so you can get it done. If you find that you can't get the whole 30 minutes done right away, you can even start with 10, 15 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes if you have trouble concentrating on that whole amount of time. But the idea is that eventually you work your way up to having 30 minutes each time and getting more done. So this is something that can be really quite helpful for helping you out with focusing your attention. If you know that your attention only needs to be focused for a good 25 or 30 minutes, it's a lot easier to focus on something than if you're expecting that you're going to be focusing on things for like hours, right? It's much more likely that you'll get distracted by your phone or a website. You'll say, yeah, I wonder what's in the news or something like that. So it's really, really quite helpful for that. So this is a really excellent way of getting what Cal Newport calls deep work done. Now, Cal Newport is he's an author who wrote the book Deep Work, and it's considered to sort of be his book Deep Work is considered to be the sort of go-to book in the productivity community on concentration management. And he basically says that, if you really want to be successful in life, you need to be someone who can really find time to concentrate and do your important deep work as a knowledge worker or anything else that you're doing in life. And that can really set you apart from everyone else who's, chronically distracted by their phone or TV or the internet and whatnot. So they can be really quite helpful with that. So, and this is just an excellent way of helping you get down to process any sort of tedious work that you have to do that you've been putting off for quite a while. So a lot of the times when people start off with this method, they may have some problems with it, right? Maybe they can concentrate for 5-10 minutes, but then they get distracted with something, right? They get distracted with their phone. They get distracted with the internet. So some ways of troubleshooting this are one thing, if you can have your phone in another room, or maybe put it in a drawer so it's not there, you're not seeing it, it's not reminding you of what you need to do. That's really quite helpful. having something to drink, some water next to you. So if you do get thirsty, you can just take a little sip real quick. That's really quite helpful. And if you do have your phone in the same room, turning off all but the essential notifications on your phone is going to be really important. You don't need to get, a ding about some random app updating or something like that, or updating its legal terms when you're in the middle of doing important work, right? So that's really quite helpful. So, if you do have trouble concentrating for the full 30 minutes, again, like I said earlier, you can start off with, instead of 30 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, right? And maybe do that for a few days and then try to work it up to, 7.5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, and just sort of go from there. Another thing that's really quite helpful is always having a method of timing at hand. Um, I have my Timex watch and I have 30 minutes set into it. So anytime I need to do a Pomodoro, I just go to the timer section in it and I just hit the button, boom, good to go. You also have a timer on your smartphone that you can use for that sort of thing. And at least on my Windows computer, Windows 10, I have a pretty easy access timer, and they're all set to 30 minutes whenever I need to do a Pomodoro, and it's really quite helpful. Doing anything to have it easy at hand, right, where it takes you like a split second to get it. If you got to go and look for something or set something up, you'll be like, yeah, I'll do it later, right? And then later becomes never. So it's really important to make it easier. Set your environment up for success, right? If you don't have any of those things, even just a kitchen timer, right? A little tomato timer, the Pomodoro timer can be really quite helpful. Um, so I'm hoping that you guys can find this method helpful. I know that for me, it's the way that I've been able to manage the excessive amount of paperwork that I get every day. In addition to seeing 30 people in office, I routinely get 200 pieces of paperwork about today in a day, right? Maybe at the end of the week it fizzles out a little bit, but it's still a lot that needs to be dealt with, because if I don't deal with it that day, I'm going to have 400 pieces of paperwork the next day, right? So I usually 4 or 5 Pomodoros a day to try and keep that processed and keep it at a manageable level. So I have personally found the method to be very just indispensable. It's been so helpful for me. So to the Italian guy who invented the method, I thank you so much. You've helped me out quite a bit in my practice. So I always like to give people next steps. What's the easy thing that you can do going forward to help you in your practice, help you institute what I've talked about in this video. So my next step for you guys is to set a timer, right? Get started on something that you've been putting off for a while, something that's um, really tedious, whether it's filling out a form or something else like that. And just get down to it, right? Again, if you try to do the 30 minutes and you just can't concentrate during that time, do 10 minutes, do 15 minutes, and work your way up. Start low, like I say, start low, go slow, and work your way up. If you get to the end of the time and you're done, that's the funny thing about the Pomodoro method is oftentimes you think this is going to take hours, this is going to be so tedious, I don't want to do this. And sometimes you just buckle down and you just focus on this one thing, and within 15, 20 minutes, you're done. You're like, wow, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So I recommend just, if you've never done this before, just try it once today or tomorrow with some tedious job that you have to get done and see how it works. So like I say, usually, if you find this helpful, hit that like button, a little thumbs up below, because it helps the algorithm tell other people in the same boat as you that, hey, this is something that you might like. Comment down below if there's something you liked or there's something you didn't like, something I could do better, or if there's a topic that you'd like me to discuss or a problem that you're having in your clinical practice that you'd like me to maybe give some pointers on that might benefit you. That's always helpful for developing new video ideas. And if you want more tips and tricks going forward, hit that subscribe button. I try to drop a new video weekly. Right now I'm traveling, so I'm limited in where I can film. I'm filming in my hotel room. You can probably guess where I am. I won't say it, but yeah. So I try to make some time to drop a new video every week. If you subscribe, then you'll be the system will let you know when I have a new video out there. So I hope that this is valuable to you, and I wish you the best.